There are so many high-tech tools out there to help with distraction. App blockers, digital wellness tools, planners, commitment devices, and there are even watches that will shock you if you do something you're not supposed to. I don't use the shocking one, but I do use a lot of the others, and my favorite one is actually a tool that isn't high-tech at all. It's been around for thousands of years in different forms, and that is a journal. And if you find yourself wanting to get distracted during this video, write it down in the comments below and start getting more aware of your distractions right away. There is a quote by the religious leader Thomas Monson that says, "When performance is measured, performance improves. And when performance is measured and reported back, the rate of improvement accelerates." And what that means is that if we want to get better at something, the first thing we need to do is track it and be accountable for it. And simple is best, so let's track our distraction in a simple way, with a journal. But before I jump into that, I want to spend some time talking about why I recommend a journal rather than just using an app that will record what you are doing and create a report on it, which I do actually also use and find useful. But getting back to the journal, why write it down rather than just letting an app record everything for you? Because when you write it down, you become more aware. That act of writing it down actually has benefits. And it has two main benefits, and it isn't really to make a record of your distraction. Instead, first, you become aware of your distraction in a way that a tracking app cannot give you. You're able to record and recognize what emotions you were feeling before you got distracted and what you were working on and how it made you feel. That creates an extra level of awareness that you don't get going back to review an app's report later. Writing it down in the moment also creates a mental break from the distraction, a distraction from the distraction, if you will, and that allows you to break out of it and actually get back to work. So, what should you write down in your journal? I like to write down these three things. First, I record what I was doing. I record the task I was trying or supposed to be trying to work on. This is important because there can actually be patterns. If certain types of tasks are too difficult for you or they frequently make you want to get distracted, those types of tasks can create a lot of dread, which leads to distraction and procrastination. So in this case, breaking down the task into more manageable pieces can be very beneficial. The second thing I write down is where I was. This is important because distraction can actually be triggered by certain locations. I found that I would frequently get distracted when I was arriving home or when I was arriving at work. As soon as I pulled into the parking spot, I would pull out my phone and I would sit there scrolling on it for 10 or 15 minutes, amplifying my dopamine cravings and stressing myself out before going into work or before going into my home to be with my family. And then the third thing I write down is how it made me feel. And this is crucial. This is the most important part. What was the emotion I was feeling before I got the urge to be distracted? Was I bored? Was I anxious? Was I fearful? Was I annoyed? All of your procrastination problems are really emotional problems under the surface. You don't know how to deal with a specific negative emotion, and so instead you go and get distracted and flood your brain with dopamine. Recording these emotions will allow you to recognize them when they come up and allow you to develop strategies for handling them better and reframing the situation to create positive emotions instead. My journal is just a small little notebook that I can easily carry around. It's about this big. And I write in it, and this is important whenever I find myself wanting to get distracted, even if I don't give in to the temptation. Recognizing when the urge hits is critical to overcoming your distraction addiction. So get a small journal and start recording your distractions. This also helps you approach your distraction and procrastination with a more curious and scientific attitude, which is a much better way to try and overcome it than constantly getting angry at yourself for not having any willpower. So if you found this video helpful, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I create content to help you master your focus and attention, defeat distractions, and smash procrastination so that you can do your great work.